Hi, and welcome to the latest Quirky coronavirus chat from here in northwest England, where we are in the second week now, or just about to go into our second week of lockdown UK style. How are you doing? I guess wherever you're watching this, all over the world, you'll be wondering what's next, what's happening. Different countries are reacting in different ways, so I don't know how you are dealing with it there, whether or not you're allowed out. If you're in certain countries like Italy and Spain, you won't have been actually allowed out virtually at all, apart from I think to go to the shops or to get medication. Here in the UK, it's not quite as bad as that. It's okay to go out and do exercise once a day, whether that's walking or cycling, running, whatever. Also, we can go to the shops, but generally speaking, apart from the key services, people are now at home and in isolation in one way, shape or form. Excuse me. And for me, it's in some ways very, very different, and in one or two other ways quite the same, because I live on my own with my cat at the moment, and quite happy to spend some time on my own. And of course my coaching and tarot reading is going on with Zoom and Skype. I'd never even used Zoom 2 weeks ago, and now, getting quite adept at it. But I just thought for this one I would talk about the fact that we're all going through change now, and I don't know how many of you have sort of actually been able to adapt to that situation yet, or if you're still in a state of shock, denial, wondering what on earth's going on. And also the fact is that we don't know how long this will last for, and that's causing a lot of uncertainty, a lot of anxiety. And I thought I would share with you something which some of you may well know, but others may not, which is about when you go through change. There's something called the transition curve. And this modelling came from research originally done by somebody called Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who was looking at the stages that we go through when somebody dies. And so she was dealing with people going through grief. But actually it has now been recognised as some of the virtually all the stages are the same, whatever change we're going through, be it a major change certainly, from dealing with obviously the worst case scenario of someone dying, to perhaps being made redundant, or a marriage breaking up, or even on a sort of positive side of things, where perhaps we're moving to the place of our dreams, but actually we've got some anxiety in amongst all of that. And the stages that this goes through, it's an up and down, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you go through each stage one after the other. You may go through one and then bounce back and then come again. But I'll just read you and share with you a little bit about this, and you might like to think about, where am I on this curve, this up and downy curve, because we're all on it. I can tell you the whole planet is on it in one way, shape or form. And so the first thing is shock, and it says it's a shock, surprise, in extreme cases, panic and immobilization. It's that fight or flight, or deer in the headlights kind of reaction. There can be a mismatch between what your expectations are and reality, what you would hope things are going to be like, and the reality of it. So for some it'll be, well, I won't have a problem dealing with this because I'm quite used to it. I'm used to being at home. Or, oh my God, I can't imagine how I'm going to deal, panic. Whichever reaction you may or may not have had or be having, you will have to adapt to it, to the reality of what it is. And there has never quite been in our lifetime any reality quite like this. The next stage is denial, which isn't just a river in Egypt. that any change is necessary. You know, okay, I'm going to carry on just as I was before. Yes, I'll be working from home, or yes, I'll be at home. Maybe you're retired, or maybe you're thinking, well, it'll just be the same. But actually, so it's almost like, well, nothing's really changed and I don't have to really do anything. To be fair, this is a very tough one. I don't think anybody really can be truly believing that they could carry on just the same when we can't actually go out to meet anybody or have people visit us, you know. So, and it says there is often a retreat or withdrawal, false competence, saying, yes, I can cope, and blocking things. Then it goes into an awareness, and you know, I think this week, as certainly in the UK, as we go into this second week, there is an awareness of, whoa, okay, this is real. This is something that is actually happening to me, and I have got to accept it. That this is, and when it says here that change is necessary in the awareness, it's that, yes, I am going to have to adapt to a different way of being. And also understanding the limits of your own competence to actually deal with this. You know, this is unknown territory for us all in one way or another. So that's that stage of awareness, which has maybe gone from denying it's happening to, okay, now I've got to deal with it. And then that awareness moves into the next phase, which is acceptance. That change really is happening and that I need to change. I do need to adapt to doing some things differently. I have to let go of the fact of what was before. It says here, letting go of past comfortable habits and attitudes. Some of that can be about, you know, I mean, you may have just been saying, oh, you know, when I get more time, I will do X, Y, and Z. And now suddenly you've got more time, and you've kind of got into the routine of saying, actually, you know, I've never got enough time, so I can't do it. And now you're having to let go of that and say, well, actually, I have got enough time. And do I really want to do whatever it is now? And I think in that acceptance phase, certainly from last week to this, I found myself, I mean, today, I put makeup on. I've actually got a skirt on. Now, I haven't worn a skirt for I think 3 weeks because with self-isolating earlier through not being well, and then obviously we were going into a semi-isolation. But I just thought this morning I'd got a couple of clients that I was dealing with. I wanted to be doing some work, and also I just thought I wanted to feel a bit different. So, you know, makeup on, earrings on, and a skirt and tights. I've still got my slippers on. Has made me feel a little different today. So part of the acceptance then is that you can start to change your behaviors to adapt to the new circumstances. And that's where maybe the experimentation starts to come in. So you start trying new ideas, new skills, saying, well, okay, yes, I have got to be at home, but maybe I should get out of my pajamas. Or, okay, I actually don't have to keep getting up every morning at 7:30 and putting on my work suit and pretending I'm still at work. Maybe I can loosen up a bit. We start to adapt and experiment with this new reality. From there is a very interesting one, which is the search for meaning. And this is where we try to understand things more and get a meaning to it. I'll be talking about that more in other sessions. But there is no doubt a lot of people are talking about, well, what's this for? And I'm not talking about the end of the world doom and gloomers that are sort of saying it's all our own fault and we brought this on ourselves. But given that what is happening, what is the meaning for me? You know, am I going to maybe think about changing some things for the better when we come out of this? Or, you know, and also just having to look at what is the meaning if people who we love are going to die, or we are going to lose them, and maybe we won't get a chance to say goodbye. And what's the meaning of that? But we have to have gone really through some of these other stages before we can get to that, looking for the meaning of it. And then finally, we come to the integration, where we get used to a new reality and we start to integrate our skills and behaviours to cope with what has changed and what is now in place. And if I just show you again there, so as you can see, it goes like that. And interesting to see where you are on this. I will put a copy of this up at the end of the video. So that's I hope that's been of some help, perhaps to explain perhaps some of the feelings and reactions that you're having to this tough situation. So I've done a little tarot reading at the end. Now this, I have to say, I was using the Good Tarot, and this is Colette Baron Reid. But the Good Tarot, because we need some good cheer in this time of a lot of doom and bad cheer. So, but I just chose these 3 cards, which are all from the Major Arcana. And interestingly, the first one is transition. Now, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, this is the Death card, which a lot of people are scared of, but it 99.9% of the time simply indicates a major change or transition. And of course, that is exactly what we're going through. And I love the fact that this little girl is looking here at, it's actually a tiny, tiny little phoenix, the phoenix rising from the ashes. So this is our current situation where we're sort of looking at something new and different and bright and what is it? But we are being transformed, and eventually we will, hopefully the majority of us will come through this, but we will have been transformed through that burning fire of coronavirus to a new beginning. In the challenge position, patience. And, you know, I was talking with a client last week about this because he was very concerned about wanting to get things done, you know, going to sort of get into a new mode and get going with some new ideas and new business things, and saying, well, actually, you know, we have to have some patience with this process. It's will take us time to assimilate, as we said with this curve. So practice patience whenever you can, however frustrating that might be. And this lady, it's like an acceptance. It's not a resignation, it's an acceptance that we need patience. Interestingly, in the opportunity, this is the temptation, which of course in the traditional Rider-Waite again is the Devil card. So here, and this is normally to do with the temptations of the worldly pleasures. And I think our opportunity here, the meaning that this has come up in this, our opportunity is to let go of some of those things that we are tempted to go with for, you know, the wealth, the things, the objects, all of that stuff. And perhaps take a bit of time out to look at a bit of the deeper meaning of life, you know, focusing instead of on all those worldly material things, just recognizing that actually the things that are most important to us are love, our family, our health, friendship, and communication. If you want a summary of that, if you look at the Quirky Coach page on Facebook, I put that up this morning with some of the interpretation of the cards there, so you might like to have a look at that. When I say this morning, this was recorded on March the 30th. It'll be somewhere hidden maybe if you're looking at this a bit further down the line. And the final card that I've drawn, and I thought it was beautiful, this is from Nature's Whispers, a very uplifting, positive deck introduced to me by a good friend and soul sister, Emma, who runs Sacred Haven events in North Cumbria. And this is the card, and the card is acceptance of love. And it's important, you know, you're going to probably be given the opportunity to accept love and help and kindness from a lot of people Of course, there's a lot of negative stuff out there, but I'm not going to focus on that at all. But sometimes it's difficult for people to accept that they are being offered something out of the sheer goodness of someone's heart, the fact that they love. And we're not just talking romantic, physical love here. I'm talking about the kindness of strangers. I'm talking about the love that we all show on a Thursday for our health workers and carers and the people who are keeping this country going whilst we all slow down. So that is just beautiful, and I love the fact that it's as if this figure, which is nature, is embracing the woman there. So again, if you do have the opportunity, have a look out in the garden if you have one, or get outside. If not, take a bit of time to watch some nice nature documentaries and that sort of thing. It'll cheer you up much more than the news. So if you have enjoyed that, then please do let me know by hitting the like button, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notifications. And please do share it with anybody that you think might benefit. If you'd like to book a life coaching session or tarot reading or combination of the two, visit my website, zoedawes.com. And I'm doing them on Zoom and Skype now. And finally, stay safe and keep smiling. Sending you lots and lots of love until the next time we meet.